Discussion of city's garbage tag system, and I will leave this up to Adam to address.
I was
He's the one that
asked-
did the research.
I was asked to look into the garbage tags and what our current status is, and some consideration for actually the possibility of eliminating one or multiple tags in our system. You will see two different reports provided to you. One is the trash tag system's financial data as it currently stands. You will see the actual revenues. Above that, you'll of course see that we have 936 residents and 98 commercial service contacts currently using the trash and recycling system. You'll see the actual revenues for the current setup. You will also see the budgeted expenses, and then you'll see the actual expenses. What you will notice is based upon actual expenses and actual revenues, that the system basically is collecting enough money to cover what we spend. Now, does it cover 100% of the budgeted expenses? No, it does not. Well, the question you might have for me is, what is it not covering? There is a line item in the budget for $15,000 a year to be set aside for the purposes of replacement of the vehicles or the equipment that's used for the purposes of picking up the garbage or recycling. That is basically, for the most part, currently standing as an unfunded line item on the budget based upon our current budget parameters. So there is no money being set aside for that purpose based upon what's actually being brought in and actually being spent. That's the current system as it's set up. When we started looking into eliminating tags as an option, one of the things that came up was a DNR request. A DNR has basically notified us that we are subject to either using a form of special trash bag or tags for the purposes of limiting, providing a source to limit trash being deposited to the landfill. These are the two approved methods that the DNR has accepted for those purposes. So there was a discussion about the possibility of just eliminating the first tag and whether or not that would violate DNR's request. I have not received a response back from DNR, and I'll let you know as soon as they answer that question for me on whether or not that's a possibility or not. In the opportunity that is a possibility, I have provided you a second set. It is called Trash Tag System Option 1, Eliminate First Tag. One of the things that you will see in this is that the standard cost of $14 a individual has been adjusted to $17.25. What would that factor in? That would factor in the elimination of the first tag, which is only $1.60 worth of savings to the individual, which means that you would assume it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $15.60, not $17.25. What's the difference? The difference is that if we are eliminating the first tag, which is the variable of our source of income currently, we would be in a situation where, to make sure that we are budgeting correctly, that we fund 100% of our budget for the purposes of replacement of a vehicle that we don't currently offer. If not, we're putting ourselves into a dangerous circumstance of not funding 100% of the budget and then running into situations where that's necessary and the money does not exist. So one of the things we ran into is that for $1.60 savings, you would actually see about a $3.25 increase per month in the cost on your bill. Now, granted, are these apples to apples or apples to oranges? They're not a complete comparison because of the fact we're covering 100% of the budget, not 100% of the actual. But it would not, I don't know if anyone here believe it would make sense for us not to fund every line item of the budget that's anticipated to be covered by the cost of that particular enterprise fund system.
But we're not covering them out.
That is correct. We are not currently covering. That also means that as we have to replace recycling equipment and trash equipment, that there is not currently in the system a method to replace it other than increasing fees at that time or bonding for it.
I can tell you Lakeview does the bag system. They have to have huge storage accommodations for bags, and there are people in and out of there all the time trying to find bags. I'd rather buy a tag than a bag.
I actually spoke with Mr. Peterson over there, and I told him that we're currently on the tag system and what he would recommend. And he would recommend that the bag system would be his least favorable option for future consideration. That's one of the reasons why what we were looking more at was the opportunity of eliminating the first tag.
In the whole state of Iowa. DNR regulated in the whole state of Iowa?
I believe
Tag
so.
or bag system?
Yes, it is their program set up, and then they only have certain approved methods of reducing trash throughout the entire state. Because one of the things that they're concerned with is that of course our amount of trash as a population in the state continues to go up, even though our particular population numbers don't.
I think they're increasing more trash by getting a tag. You're putting that tag in the landfill.
Well, one of the things I recommended to them that I have seen actually used as an alternative in other states is a sticker tag rather than a tie tag. Because one of the complaints that we have received is that it is somewhat difficult to tie a tag onto the bag, whereas if you had one that was sticky on the back, you could just stick it on the bag and it would be very easy to pick up.
It's not that it's difficult, it's just a pain when it's minus 10.
Well, the, well, yeah. One of the things we have to take into consideration on that proposal is that we would want to use up our current tags before that would be an option to us. So, but in DNR's initial response to me, and they told me they'd give me an official response, they did not believe that that would violate their tag system concept. So that's a current report on what we found. Is there any questions at this time? I know Gary wanted to be here tonight to speak about a little bit of about how what the people out at the landfill felt, but he wasn't able to come this evening.